And welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the Bald Guy and the Fat Boy. I'm the Bald Guy with my buddy, the Fat Boy.
Roll Tide.
And we are back again. We made it, 1 week into the new year, and then we missed our first episode because I had a work convention to go to. But now we're back again. And I've really tried to take this time and look around for some more like projects to do while we're doing these, because I think that really adds something to it. But the Fat Boy is not a fan, so I'm going to leave that out. No, do it yourself, as he called it, items going on this week for me.
We're going to have a podcast, not a project and a podcast.
You know what? I can do all this and be just as good at podcasting as Jerry Jones is at being the GM of the Cowboys.
Well, maybe I won't completely disagree with that. But yeah, something like that.
So anyway, so you should be riding high, man. You've had a pretty good couple weeks here as far as at least predicting games.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we talked about it before we missed last week, but the Fat Boy has been killing it. He knocked out the national title game. He knocked out the Super Bowl matchup, which I was surprised.
Don't forget the Texas Ohio State game.
Trying to desperately.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so he's been on a little roll. So we'll have to get a prediction from him here on the Super Bowl to see who he's got and what he thinks is going to turn out in that. But other than that, is there any news you want to share with us, Fat Boy? Anything you want to?
I mean, I've got a myriad of things. The Harris English won the PGA golf tournament today. They played at the Farmers Insurance in California, and this next week is the Pro-Am Pebble Beach Pro-Am Tour tournament. I said tournament. There at Pebble Beach. So, but Harris English was your champion for this week, and at the Pro-Am Pebble Beach will be the first tournament that the world number one will be back since he cut his hand carving a Christmas turkey.
That's rough right there. Isn't it amazing how little stuff like that can happen? And then, I mean, that's got to affect the way you hold the golf club, the way you twist it.
No, even if we've cut ourselves on the hands doing something stupid or doing something 100 times in our life. But
I know, but me and you ain't professional golfers.
I mean, you ain't professional golfers. It don't cost us, when we do that, it don't cost us hundreds and thousands and possibly millions of dollars. He's missed the first 3 or 4 tournaments, especially the CenturyLink, the Champions tournament. He could probably be right up at the top of that thing and make some money.
No, that's what happens, though. Normal everyday life kind of gets in the way, and we don't think about it. You get a little relaxed, things happen.
Yeah. So in other words, don't relax.
You got to stay. It's kind of like safety in the workplace. I mean, as soon as you get real comfortable with what you're doing, somebody's going to slip, fall, step backwards out of a portable toilet and hurt themselves. Something's going to happen.
Yes. Well, anyway, so that was golf. There was also some PBR, Unleashed to Be Series. It's PBR, Unleashed to Be Series. Had their tournament this week. They were in the Steel City, Pittsburgh, and we have
Pittsburgh have a team? Does Pittsburgh have a team?
They do not.
Team series? No, they don't. Okay.
They do not have a team. They do not have a team in the team series. But they we do this week. We have the champion of Pittsburgh and the new world number one in Unleashed to Be Series are now the same fellow. I think I made mention to you about the Aussie from last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me. Well, the Aussie, and I told you I was going to have problems with the name, and I'm still Brady. His name's Brady Fielder. Brady Fielder. I had to, because I don't have it in front of me. I've got to come off the top of my head. Brady Fielder won the event in Pittsburgh, and that also vaulted him into the number one position into the Unleashed the Beast series. So he won it all. He won the event, and he also got to be number one bull rider in the world right now.
How many competitions is that they've had so far this year?
1, 2, 3. I think we're on our fourth. I
Okay.
think it's either fourth or fifth. I think Pittsburgh was our fourth. We go to Sacramento, California next.
How many events a year do they have? Like 30 or 20 or what?
Yeah, and I don't know without counting. To be honest with you, I don't want to lie to you.
Okay. We prefer that. Honesty is kind of the name of the podcast here.
Yes, not necessarily honesty. It's just I just don't want to be having a lot of stuff out there that I'm wrong about.
We will lead y'all wrong quite a bit, but we try not to do it on purpose.
Yeah, that might be a good way to put it. All right, and then of course we did have the Mavericks played a couple games this week. They played one good one and one bad one. The good one being they played a pretty good game against Oklahoma City, and then they laid an egg against the Boston Celtics. Still been getting close to the All-Star break. Still hadn't had. We've been if and out, in and out with Kyrie Irving quite a bit, and right now one of our big men is out, Lively's out, and of course our star player Luka Doncic has been out for over a month now. So the Mavericks are. I think I saw them in the standings. They're in the standings at like 9th or 10th, but I could be wrong about that as of today. But going before we lost Luka, we were in 5th. So we've dropped 4 or 5 spots since Luka went out.
Yeah, we're very middling right now, but that's fine. I mean, all you got to do is this year thing works, but a play-in game is. I mean, that's still making the playoffs, in my opinion, and we'll see what happens if we get in.
Yes. Okay, and then after that, the hockey team played a real good game the night, and then they backed it up with a win. I saw the real good game they played because it was on national television. They played against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and Ottinger was on fire. Our goalkeeper could not, our goalkeeper maybe, that might be soccer, could not. I mean, he could miss. Everything he blocked, everything went in front of him, he blocked. So kudos to Ottinger. They beat the Golden Knights and they backed it up with a win against the Blues. And then now this next game, we go out to Vegas we start a West Coast swing out in Vegas. So we got that to look forward to. See how we fared good at home against Vegas. Now we got to go out there and beat them in their barn.
That'll be a fun trip.
I am supporting the Stars in my headwear tonight. So I mentioned golf and bull riding, the Mavericks and the Stars. Don't have no baseball updates. The
All right, well, let's jump to football. Let's just get to football. You want to talk? We didn't talk about the national title game. We didn't have a
I think
podcast last week, so
I believe that after the showing that Ohio State made, as bad as it makes me feel to have to say this, I think the best team won the championship.
I would agree with that.
Which sometimes may not always be the case, but I think in this particular case, I think the best team, at least starting going into and starting the playoffs, the best team won the championship. So not a whole lot to complain about. Just my team and your team, we just got to regroup, move on to the next season. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it was a good game, though. I mean, it was that.
I think so. Yeah, it was decently good. I'm not a big huge fan of Notre Dame, so I didn't have any tears for Notre Dame. So
congratulations to Ohio State. I mean, that's
pretty much the long and the short of it.
So now we've covered all that to get to this. Boy, Jerry Jones, you have said on here before that y'all are linked like in the brain, like y'all share brain waves. Sometimes
Well,
I think y'all may share a brain and he just tosses it out and lets you play with it for a week, and then maybe he gets it back. But what is going on with the coaching hunt?
well, I was off on this one. I'll personally admit I didn't necessarily see Schottenheimer coming. I was I had my eggs in a different basket, believe it or not. So uh, I I don't have a big book on Schottenheimer. What about you?
I mean, I think he's a decent OC. May or may not have deserved a chance to be a head coach, but this is not the kind of splashy hire we were looking for. This is not all in here, none of that. This is let's keep everything comfortable and just stay status quo and go from here. I really think Jerry got turned down by McCarthy because he wanted to come back on a shorter term deal. McCarthy said, nope, you're going to pay me what I'm worth, or I'm not going to do it because I've been a coach again in this league and I used you to get back, in the news cycle, get my face back out there. Now I can go take a job that I really want and get paid very well to do it. I think Kellen Moore took the opportunity to say, hey, what are y'all going to do over there? What's your plan? How's everything look? And go, no, you know what? My team's pretty good that I'm on right now. I've got one of the best running backs in the game, which y'all aren't going to pay for a running back. I've got a good offensive line, and I'm probably going to the Super Bowl, which now we know he is. So he's like, I'm going to sit back, and I think I'm just going to wait for a different opportunity, and I'm not going to come over there because I know how you run everything, and I don't want to be a part of it. So I think Jerry got turned down by at least his top two, and that's not including Deion Sanders if Deion Sanders got offered the job.
And I'm also hearing through the grapevine that this is a stopgap, and I don't know why this would be a stopgap. But Jerry wasn't ready to pull his trigger yet. But in 3 years, in 3 years, if this ain't a complete 100% success, he's going to move to one of his new flavors of the month, and that's Jason Witten. And
everybody thinks Jason Witten will be on this staff,
well,
somewhere or another, to be able to get him around a pro coaching staff, get him coaching experience to where he has it on his resume, to where he's not completely new. Because I don't know if you remember or not. You remember when they named Jeff Saturday like interim coach in Indy, and
yeah,
everybody was throwing a fit because you have no experience. What are you doing? This is a disgrace to coaches. So this lets him bring Witten in, get him some time on a staff to where he won't say it's a brand new game.
right. And I think from everything I'm hearing, I think that's an imminent move as well. You said that the defensive coordinator was already set. Zimmer is out; he's going to retire apparently, and this
Didn't
is
he
it.
just get married to like a woman half his age? Didn't that just happen?
Well, I don't know. I don't keep up with stuff like that, but you say I'll believe what you say. And we're going to have Eberflus as our defensive coordinator. Is that what you were led to understand?
That's what I understand. Is Eberflus will be back as defensive
And,
coordinator. Where
and I have an opinion of what I think is going to be offensive coordinator. But I don't. But it's just a guess. It ain't a. It's
well,
not
what do
set.
you think? Throw a guess out there. We don't have to know. What
Yes,
is it?
I I think your new coach is going to do both until I hear something different.
Thinking his first head coaching job, he's going to do both. I think they got him because they think he's a good motivator. I think they think he's good game planning and scheming, and he's good with the X's and O's. That's what I think. If I just listened to some of his conversations he's had on tape. I don't know how he is in person, but a lot of this, I mean, he has a chance to be. It's not a hire that blows your hair back, but if we're sitting here next year and we're in the playoffs and maybe flashy wasn't what we needed and we win a playoff game or two, then I mean, all the talk about everybody is doom and gloom right now. And all that'll go away if he has enough success to get into the postseason and win a game or two.
I was listening to Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan this week, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I did anyway. and they were talking about how the fact that their inside sources, which being in Jerry World, said that a lot of this Schottenheimer hire had to do with Dak Prescott. Meaning Dak Prescott didn't necessarily want to. I mean, he did mind McCarthy being gone, but he didn't want the whole page to be completely turned on what they have been doing and what they're going to do in the future. And this Schottenheimer thing might be, according to Sean RJ, may be a Dak Prescott blessing or a Dak Prescott. I can't think of the right word.
Maybe we just don't know that Dak struggles learning new systems. That's why when he come in under the Jason Garrett system, Garrett helped teach him that. He had a real good year, right? His rookie season when he stepped in for Romo. Okay, so he learned that. And then when Kellen Moore was there, built on that same system. So it's still Garrett's system. And then after Moore left and McCarthy took over play calling, it was still the same system. McCarthy didn't put his system in. He said, I'm going to call this system that you know in a way. So I think all they're telling us is our quarterback that we paid the biggest contract in NFL history, system that works for him, and we're not comfortable or don't know what he would be if we tried to change it.
I can live with that. But my whole point was this: losing McCarthy. I don't think was the ultimate. I think keeping McCarthy was the ultimate decision, but McCarthy said no. So the best case scenario, and after that happened, after him saying no, was promote Schottenheimer and rock the boat as little as possible.
I think you're exactly right. I think they wanted to keep it steady as you go, which for Cowboy fans, none of us are really happy with the way everything's been going. So why would you keep everything status quo and the same? But you just signed your quarterback to a big extension. He's got 4 years. Now your new coach Schottenheimer has 4 years. I think at the end of that 4 years, that's why they did both of them on that. So they expire together and it's a new deal.
Yeah. So
it's the same strategy that they tried to use with McCarthy and Dak. And then they still felt like they needed to go ahead and re-sign Dak. McCarthy. They got Dak done, let McCarthy go. So this is as close as they can to following through with that plan, given 8 years or whatever of them together on similar contracts and letting it end the same time. And if you got to start over with a new quarterback, that's when you bring in your flashy new OC head coach hire to be able to meld those together.
Yeah, I agree with most of that pretty heavily, actually. So I'm going to ask you this question, and there ain't a lot of major debate needed for it, but based off of how we ended the season this year, and really not necessarily talking about health, what are you thinking that the 3 most major position moves the Cowboys need to make? Now, health, I'm not really necessarily talking about health coming up either in free agency or the draft are.
Offensive line and running back.
Yeah, offensive line and running back for sure. And
maybe D line.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you about got the same answers that I got. So.
Well, considering if your defensive backs come back healthy and you keep all them in house.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And maybe linebacker because you're looking at Kendricks. I think will probably leave since he's not in Zimmer's system anymore. So we may have to draft a linebacker or go sign one. But looking at the Sean will play, but I mean, you still got to have another linebacker.
Okay. And of course, you got number 12 draft, and of course, you got some later draft picks. So I was just curious what you thought the 3 biggest needs the Cowboys had going into free agency and the draft were.
I think You got to go secure your line. We now our line should be better. We went into last year with a young line. We lost our center to Washington. He just played in the NFC Championship game today.
Yeah.
I mean, we like I said, we started a bunch of young guys, and it takes a while for everybody to kind of click. I think you still need to spend a high draft pick, maybe not your number one, but you're going to have to spend a lot of draft capital on your O line, your D line, and all the running backs. If you look at all this, we could have had Saquon.
Yeah.
Heck of a year, man. That think
Oh,
about with that going down, if you had Saquon to be able to turn
oh,
to, and he
you
stayed
also
healthy with us.
you also could have had Henry too.
I know both of those were options. Derrick Henry would have been great. He wanted to come here.
Yes. He loves running at Jerry World. He proved that in college.
They, for some reason, didn't think they had the money to pay him or didn't want to pay him. And they're still buying into the running back is not a high value position. You can get the similar performance with a lower price tag, younger back. And I think we're starting to see the league kind of move away from that a little bit.
I think you got to go middle. I think you got to middle that somewhere. So we'll see how it goes from here. Okay, does that end us up on the Cowboys, or are we forgetting something?
I think that's it, man. I think that's disappointing enough. You've got all of the Cowboy fans have to sit back and wait, which is the toughest thing for us to do, is be patient and see as the year plays out, as the offseason plays out, if we actually do make any moves, if we bring in any replacement players that everybody can get excited about. But one thing is absolutely for sure everywhere you go, the coaching hire did nothing to satisfy this fan base.
Not really. A lot of keeping your powder dry, in my opinion.
I mean, I think there's people that would have rather saw Jason Garrett come back and coach this team than promoting Shotgun.
Well, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I like that or what we got better. So we'll just wait and see.
For Schottenheimer, I'm telling you, I'm happy he's getting a chance. Let's see what he does. I mean, we've got to ride with him now.
You know, it's kind of like the Dak thing. We made our bed. Now we got to lie in it. This week we had this was the divisional round, correct? Um, and something
Divisional
that
what? Hold on.
in pro football, this divisional round,
It's conference round. It was conference championship.
conference round. Excuse me, conference round. And of course, not to kind of limp off the Cowboys, but to kind of stay on them at the same time. Almost in the entire NFC East was in the conference round, and the Giants and the Cowboys were at home, and the other two were playing in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, on one side you had your old OC that was running the offense for the team that's going to the Super Bowl, the Eagles. On the
Well,
other side, you had your former DC, which is now the head coach. Your former secondary coach that is their DC that got knocked out. You had
and
your center there. I forget who all we had there, but I mean, there was a lot of ex-Cowboy players that finally got to go to a conference championship game.
yeah, with the Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry, the Commanders.
Yeah, well, on both sides. I mean, all
Yeah,
you have to do if you're a good coordinator for the Cowboys, in order to make it to the conference championship, you just have to leave and go to work for another team.
there you go. Oh, okay, and of course, in that conference championship, we had the Eagles of Philadelphia. The box score looks where the game, the first half was close, but the Eagles come out and put their foot on their necks in the second half, and the Eagles went on to major.
Washington turned the ball over too many times. That's the whole key. They had 21 points off a turnover.
Yeah. So the Eagles won. So they're the Eastern Conference representative in the Super Bowl, and then the other conference championship was the Bills of Buffalo versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and I told everybody that would listen to me, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes until you see him lose the dadgum game. I told everybody that I could speak to. Everybody wanted to poo-poo on this game. Buffalo's time is now. Buffalo's this. The quarterback is this. The quarterback is that. Until you see Mahomes lose one of these ball games in the playoffs, I would say Mahomes is the horse you need to be riding.
You know, he tied or he passed Joe Montana for playoff wins with tonight's victory at 17, I believe.
Yeah, he's only
And
behind
that
one player now. Just one.
Brady,
Yeah, Tom.
he's got 35. So
Terrific
he's
Tom.
still Brady's more than double him.
Yeah, terrific Tom is the only one he's behind now. Um, okay, I have a trivia question that they gave on the ball game. You might have heard it. Did you hear what the last professional sports team to go three-peat was?
Los Angeles Lakers.
Kobe Bryant, 99.
Yeah.
He said, I think Jim Nance said it was 99, 2000, 2001 was the last time, or he might have said 2000,
2000, 2003. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So,
2002.
but Kobe Bryant and so give it up to the late great Kobe Bryant. In my opinion, the second best player behind Michael Jordan.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, it is, and I know it ain't yours. So we'll move on. So that means after all that the Philadelphia Eagles and your Kansas City Chiefs will be meeting at. They're playing in Louisiana, right?
I believe so, yeah.
At the Superdome, and L.A., Louisiana. I always thought that was funny. And the and if I didn't bury the lead a while ago, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. So until I see with my own beady little eyes Patrick Mahomes lose one of these games, I am right back on the Patrick Mahomes train, partner. So go Chiefs. Whoa.
All right, that sounds like a great place to wrap it up. We appreciate y'all tuning in, especially if you've made it this far in the episode. And we'll see you guys next week for the ball guy and the fat boy. We'll see you next time.
Roll Tide.